Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And here we are. I just cleaned underneath right here. I'm about to put this dresser back. And we're going to clean this upstairs area. So we'll put this back. There. All right. Now let's go back over here. All right, we're engaged. Now you notice I'm actually using the brush on this carpet, and if you look closely, you can see this carpet, the texture over here is radically different than in the traffic areas where you can see it's really mushed together. So this carpet is 10 years old. I was actually in this house about 10 years ago for a previous owner, cleaned it, and this is the same carpet. So here we are again. But very, very packed down in the traffic areas, so I decided I would use my brush to pre-scrub and apply and lift and separate the carpet pile, because one of the things the rotary is extremely good at doing is lifting the carpet pile, as I'm about to show you again. This is actually a pretty soft brush, not a stiff brush. But of course the brush is, as I move the machine over the carpet, I know. Oh my goodness me, look at the hair it's pulling out. Which is what I was, actually, she was saying how when she vacuums, she pulls out a lot of hair. And the brush, there it is, it's pulling this, I don't know if you can see it, there's hair flying all over the place. And I vacuumed this very thoroughly with my Hoover, but look at that, more and more hair coming up. And again, that's one of the reasons why, having the ability to choose various different attachments is one of the advantages of the rotary. And it will lift this pile very nicely. And then, of course, I'll be following this with a extraction pad. And it's getting right along the edge. The brush is pulling the hair out of the edge. They have a boxer dog, and they also have a cat. And when I do the steps, and it wasn't even a full flight, actually, I think only about 10 steps, I almost filled up my little shark with hair, even though it didn't look like it needed to be vacuumed, actually. Again, the brush flares out past the bumper, and the bristles are actually running along the edge of the wall. You can see just a chunk of fur right there on the edge that it pulled up, and I'll have to go and vacuum the edges again, I guess. I see the pile lifting up very well. And then when I do the post-grooming, vacuuming, that'll straighten out the pile and make it all stand up evenly. But it will flatten down again very quickly. This carpet is really quite significantly worn. Well, there was a stain there, which actually is now gone. Oh, and I've got a very interesting story to tell you about this carpet, or this job. When I was here 10 years ago, there was the lady that I was working for. She told me that when they got to the house, I guess they just bought it, and they found that the people who had been in the house had left behind in the backyard, in a barrel, a deer carcass. And they had slaughtered the deer and left all the guts and everything in a barrel in the backyard. You know, the head and I guess the intestines and the hide and everything. And that was gross and disgusting, and they had to deal with that. But that wasn't the worst of it. What they also discovered was that they had laundered their hunting clothes in the washer, and I guess they put the musk to hide the scent on their clothes, and the washing machine reeked, and they had been trying to get the smell out of this washing machine, which was not very old and was part of the purchase, but they couldn't get it out. So I don't know whatever ended up happening with that, but yeah, that was quite the story. And here we are again. There's hair everywhere. Look at that, just balls of hair pulling up out of the carpet. Flying around, literally flying around. And I did vacuum really well. And I have it, the bag was empty. So, of course, I will be vacuuming again. Again, look at that, clumps of hair everywhere. My goodness. There's a look, hair. That's wow. And that's one of the nice things about the brush, or the fiber pad would work well, except in a case like this, because there's so much hair coming out, it could end up kind of clogging up the fiber pad pretty quickly, whereas the brush won't do that. It's amazing, you know, this carpet doesn't look like it. It didn't look like it really even needed to be vacuumed. In fact, she told me she vacuumed before I got here. Isn't that interesting? And I did look in the bag, and the bag is, you know, this isn't a very big area, but I would say that my bag was probably about half full already in this. I think we're just over 300 square feet here, 350 square feet. And yet, look how much hair that I'm pulling out of this carpet. It's crazy. So again, I'm able to go right along the wall. The bristles of the brush are actually reaching the bottom of the baseboard and pulling the hair out of there. We've got a pretty busy day today. 3 decent sized jobs. And tomorrow I think I have 4. And then on Wednesday I've got a wax removal job. Really looking forward to that. Not without some trepidation, but It's just because it's a new thing. But it's going to be fun. I already did the bathroom at that job, and it turned out really, really nice. I bet you by the time I finish this, I'll have filled my vacuum bag by the look of it. You can see how the pile is getting lifted up. See how it's tussled one way and the other, depending on, it'll be laying one way depending on the last direction I was going, one way or the other. Really packed down here. The boxer is probably about 80 pounds. And of course that's definitely very hard on the carpet anyway. You know, it's interesting that this carpet, when it was new, would have been considered one of the better carpets. It is a nylon, but you know, it's a softer nylon, and it's worn quite a bit. But mind you, it is 10 years, and that's a long time for a carpet in most cases. Although my carpet's 10 years old, and when I clean it, it looks brand new. Again, clumps of hair moving around, picking up all over the place. This hair is actually mostly the cat. I don't think it's the dog. This looks like little soft fur like from a cat, which I only had a brief glimpse of as it went racing past me from under the bed when I was vacuuming. Again, see, there's a chunk of hair been thrown up against the baseboard right in the corner there. And this is the reason why, one of the reasons why I just don't have any interest in getting a C or D machine. I understand what they do. I know all about them. I used them for years, many years ago. But for one thing, is they're a pain in the butt to clean. But this brush works very, very well at pulling hair out of the carpet, and so does the fiber pad, especially the hog's hair. So I just don't see the value. But and I don't, it would occupy room in the van that I need for maybe something else. I've only got so much room. You gotta sort of pick your battles, I guess. Now, I don't run into a lot of jobs like this anyway, so. But sometimes it's surprising which ones end up being a real hairball. Sometimes you don't expect it. Okay, let's get back to the beginning here. Put the hair. So I decided that I would use the green stripe, as you can see. And again, it reaches out and literally touches the baseboard. And it actually really lifts the pile quite effectively. That's one of the things I noticed about the rayon. I think it has a bit more grip. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on the carpet, I guess. But it certainly does work well. And again, there was a stain right where I'm at right now, and it disappeared almost instantly. But it's really lifting the pile nicely. I can see that. It's not flattening the pile, as some seem to want to keep saying, but maybe they just never use the rotary much. Using it once or twice, even for a year, doesn't even give you the real depth of understanding. It takes really some time to get to be a real expert with a machine like this. It just does. I remember back when I first started 30 years ago, I remember after about a year, I was like, wow, I'm really doing this differently than I was in the beginning. And really over a few years, I noticed that I was definitely getting better and better and better as I really learned how to use it effectively. And it never really stops, because I'm always learning, because I don't make the claim that I know everything. I definitely don't. I'm always learning. I'm always willing to listen to what others are saying about what they're doing, and if I think there's validity to it, then I can learn from that. And if I don't see validity, that's okay. May not agree, but but if you get to the point where you're saying, I know everything and everybody should listen to me, well, then you're probably going down a little back eddy of, well, you're not able to learn anymore. So I guess I'd rather not be that person. I don't know it all, and hopefully I never will learn it all, but I'll keep learning. Be willing to listen to other people and acknowledge that maybe somebody else has something of value to add. Most people do. Some people don't. I get that. Usually the ones that are most vocal about how superior they're at everybody else have the greatest limitation on what they have to offer in actual fact. I've learned humility is a good thing. I can learn from people who are humble. The Bible verse about that. God gives grace to, opposes the poor, but gives grace to the humble. I like that one. There is a lot of hair coming up here. My goodness. That's just crazy. We gotta figure out what's wrong with her vacuum or something. It can't be that bad. Maybe her vacuum hasn't been working for some time. There's a crazy amount of hair coming out of this carpet. I think there it is on the leg of that dresser. Again, it's just all over the place. Up against the baseboard, it's literally blowing in the air from the cooling fan of the machine. It's got draws air on the top and it's blowing out the vents on the bottom. Oh, there's hair on my finger there. Man, that's crazy. Again, there's a dust. Oh, see, look. On my finger. There's a pile of it right there. All over the place. Crazy, man. I do see this sometimes, but not that often. But boy, that brush sure pulls the hair out and lifts the pile. This is worse than another job that I did the other day. Mind you, that other one, which one was that? I used the brush and it had been steam cleaned, and I got quite a bit of hair out of that one too. Actually, I filled the vacuum bag in that house. It was a whole house. It was the one where they didn't have air conditioning and the off-white carpet. But this one, I'm getting way more hair out of this job, even though it's way smaller. That's crazy. I bet I'm going to have the bag full by the time I'm done. This is just over 300 square feet. I think it's 370 or something like that. Plus the steps. And I almost filled the shark on the steps. So, let's go over here and we'll take a look at the pad. Ooh, that's a lot of hair. It's dirty, but that's most of those black little dots or whatever, those are clumps of hair. So I'm going to do a quick run over with the B side, just because when you've got that much hair, you've also got a lot of oil. Although this carpet doesn't really actually look dirty. It just looks, really compressed in the traffic areas, and but there's no visible, what I would call dirt trails or high traffic area visible anyway. Mind you, it's a color that hides dirt, which is the same color as my mudroom carpet, or where my laundry room is. And it hides dirt really well. It's the right color. Might as well get rid of those. Oh goodness, there's hair all up against the edge there. Again, the pad will literally run right along the baseboard very easily. Alright, we'll head this way. Just really going over the high traffic areas with the B side here. It doesn't look like it needs it, but I'm pretty sure it will benefit from that. A little extra. It'll take a couple minutes. And there's a chunk of carpet missing there, obviously. Apparently there was a baseboard heater that I took out and carpet didn't quite go up to the wall there, so, but they left it, obviously. Could have taken a strip out of a closet and stuck it in there, but I guess they aren't concerned about that. Let's go over to the beginning and take a look at the B side here. I used about a gallon on that job, by the way. That was the first side. That's the second side. Definitely lighter. These little chunks, these are actually little balls of fur. Okay, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching and have a good day.